So the Book of Boba Fett episode 5 just released, and I gotta be honest with you, it was probably the best episode so far in this series, and that's not saying much. In fact, that Boba Fett wasn't even in this episode just gives me even more cause to pause. Hey everybody, I am Robert Storm. As always, if you find me for the very first time, please do me a massive favor, smash that like and subscribe button. That way you guys can stay up to date on all future content here on the channel. Now, I have been very disappointed with the Book of Boba Fett ever since it's been released, and I don't think this series is nowhere near as good as I was hoping it was going to be. So much, in fact, that by after episode 3, I was just completely done with this series. I was just done. I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to watch no more. I will check back in later down the line and see how the show is. Maybe when it's over with, I will binge it. But a lot of you guys said, hey, episode 5 was great. You need to give it a watch. So I figured, okay, I'm not feeling very well. I'm going to sit down, lay down on the bed and just watch episodes 4 and 5 because I decided to stop watching after 3. And episode 4 was pretty much the same stuff we got in the first 3 episodes. Nothing spectacular. And then episode 5 hit. And then we got a lot of, that's right, the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian himself makes a return in episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. In fact, Boba Fett is not to be seen in this episode. He's nowhere to be seen. And this really felt like a season premiere to season 3 of The Mandalorian more than an episode of the Book of Boba Fett, because we pick off with The Mandalorian right where we left off at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. And it felt like, okay, this is a great season premiere for the next season of The Mandalorian. And then I remembered, well, this ain't The Mandalorian, this is the Book of Boba Fett. So I was like, ugh. So the best episode so far in the Book of Boba Fett isn't even about Boba Fett. It's about the Mandalorian making his return and talking about the dark saber and talking about Bo-Katan and all this great stuff. That's what was in this episode. It had nothing to do with Boba Fett. Yeah, Boba Fett kind of was mentioned later on at the end of the episode, so it looks like Mando is going to come back and help Boba Fett and do whatever he has to do on Tatooine. But look, this show has not it just hasn't grabbed me, guys. This show has not grabbed me. Nothing about this show makes me go, oh man, I can't wait for the next episode. Because even though I enjoyed this episode because Mando was in it, doesn't mean I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Because I just don't look forward to next week's episode because it's just so much of the same old stuff where Boba wants to be in charge of the house and blah, 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 and he's going through these flashbacks. And in fact, the entire 4th episode was just a flashback on the end of when we first meet Boba Fett and Mandalorian. So it was just like, this whole series has been the Book of Flashbacks, not the Book of Boba Fett, the Book of Flashbacks. So overall, wasn't really excited about episode 4. It was just more of the same old crap. I find it very, very boring and underwhelming. Episode 5 has been the strongest episode so far, but that's not saying much, seeing how basically that's because it was the Mando that showed up. It was because Mando showed up. That was the only reason why episode 5 was even remotely tolerable, was because the character that we all love, that we've been through with 2 seasons, showed back up. And that, it tells me so much more on what they're doing. So anyway, I really, really enjoyed the 5th episode of Book of Boba Fett, the book of non-Boba Fett in that one. But this show has just never really appealed to me so much so far, and which is really disappointing because I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Not necessarily the biggest Boba Fett fan, but I do think Boba Fett fans deserve a better Boba Fett series than what they're giving us, because this series that they're giving us, I don't think is paying honor to the character of Boba Fett. And when we envisioned a Boba Fett series, this isn't what we basically, envisioned in our mind. And yeah, it was cool to see Mando show up and all that. I just felt like it was a little out of place, in my personal opinion. Really disappointed with this series so far. And I believe there's 2 episodes left. I believe Mando is probably going to show up in probably the last episode to help Boba Fett do whatever he's going to do. Other than that, again, I'm not really looking forward to the next episode. It isn't one of those series on Disney Plus where I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for the next episode, which is unfortunate because, I did have hopes for this series. I really, really did. But anyway, guys, I wonder what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. Until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.